Okay, this is why we need a Patreon, so we can give people access to the pre-show.
This part.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you wanted to hear.
There was a
Every bit
lot
of
that I
that.
wanted to use for the opening of our show this week. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody would really appreciate it.
The last 10 minutes have been decidedly not safe for work. Ironically,
We're at
work.
But we're in a soundproof room.
Thank goodness.
Right?
With padded walls.
I will be honest, the best part about being friends with Adam is if you want to come complain about your coworkers, you can just come in an Adam room and it's a safe space.
And you can yell.
Or you can just say it to their face. But enough about me.
But kind of do it in a sarcastic tone so they think you're joking, but you're like, I'm totally serious.
But then they actually turn around and go cry to their cats. Anyway, okay. Let's do a podcast. Welcome to the Bite Me Podcast. What are we, episode 72?
We are.
The
72.
future.
Well, that was just because this was
I
our
know.
show notes from last week, but anyway.
You started
Yeah.
ahead. You got really ahead.
There were 2 questions that did not fit on last week's podcast, so I put them on this week's podcast.
With
That
the
was
other
in the
11
future.
teams.
with
Now
the
it's
other
the
37
present.
podcast questions we have.
Yesterday's tomorrow.
Why do we give him special treatment? No, I'm kidding. Why does he get to ask 3 questions?
Oh, well.
It's rapid
It's
fire
fine.
questions.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
rapid
let
fire,
you
it's
just-
rapid fire. And I'm only just lightly ribbing because I know him.
it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
I mean,
Anyway.
no one's noticed yet that one of these questions is from me. So,
Oh. God, I hope not. All right. Hi, my name is Adam West.
Cliff Johnson.
The Dylan.
Yeah. Very loud.
We're very up today.
I don't know, like the mood just picked up after that. I don't know.
Coffee.
I've had like 6 hours of meetings today. I have no idea why I'm even awake.
Well, I thought we were going to be here about 45 minutes ago.
Same.
I
At
wish,
least.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a scheduling snafu with some other
Snafu.
people, and they don't really. I'm going to say they lack certain responsibilities that you would expect someone of that occupation to have.
Fair.
Let's go with that. Very, very ambiguous.
Nice.
Nobody
Yeah, yeah.
knows.
Cryptic.
Continue.
maybe.
All right. So this week, as I check my phone, this week we have got some news for you. No more mouse and keyboard for PUBG players on consoles. That's stupid. Why?
Because it's
Well, I mean,
unfair.
fairness-
I mean,
the
it makes
game.
sense, but it's like if you've got the tech built in to use it, why not? But
Giving too
anyway,
much
we'll talk
away.
about that. There's a meteor, and now there's a comet in Fortnite.
I've heard meteor.
I've read comet.
Whatever. Aren't those really the same thing?
Basically,
I heard shooting star, so
Well,
Well, a comet has an orbit. A meteor
does
A
not.
meteor just kind of goes all willy-nilly, wackadoodle, lands wherever it wants.
Yeah.
And then
So does a comet become a meteor if it enters like an atmosphere?
I don't know.
I don't either. We need to call Neil deGrasse Tyson to answer this question.
I'm sure he
tweet
would,
at him.
He would
He'll-
gladly
he'll get
accept
back
our
to us.
And he
question.
probably will, actually. Anyway,
I call
continue.
him Neely.
Neely.
We're on that level.
I've
yeah.
actually seen him live. It was amazing.
We're really good friends. We go back. Wait,
Yeah, yeah.
Oops, something isn't
Assassin's Creed is getting a control panel that will let you control everything.
Everything.
Okay.
working. That's a lot.
Yeah. Guacamelee 2 is coming soonish, and the original is on sale if you don't own it 11 times like I do.
And you should.
Shadow of War is ditching microtransactions. Oh, interesting. Dylan and Cliff were right. They're shocked too. But wait, this is clickbait. No, we'll talk about that. A pirate legend is born, kind of, sort of, and I read about that too. It's really... I don't know. Questions from Vinny, Cliff, Colby, Miles, Captain Insano, or Andrew from St. Louis if you prefer. Oh, I used to live in St. Louis, actually. So yeah, I might know this guy. Not really.
St. Louis!
Yeah.
It's actually Optimus Prime. He just felt really bad that you couldn't say his name. Or no, it's not. It's not Optimus Prime. It's
That's Captain Insano.
Yeah, Captain
Well,
Insano.
I just said Captain Insano.
Captain
Oh,
Insano.
good job.
I
Did
just
you
said
say
it right because I got it. Yeah,
is
you
it-
guys were busy.
I got
all-
distracted. Yeah.
But do you still know if it's Captain Insano or is it Captain Sano?
It's Captain Insano. Captain Insano.
Or is it Captain Sano?
Well, I've decided it's Captain Insano. He probably loves that he gets this much attention from his screen name every week.
No, that's why he's like, just call me.
He's probably like, you guys are wasting too much time on my name, dude.
It's all good.
And then Man Socks, of course, has the most important question of the week. Plus cheap free games, some games with gold, PlayStation, Twitch games, blah, 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 all that stuff. And we start with what we're playing.
Nice.
And you and I are playing basically the same thing.
Do you want to talk about it a bunch? Because I want to talk about it a bunch.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay, we're both playing Far Cry 5.
Ooh, that was good.
Yes, it was.
So,
we didn't even practice that.
How far are you into it?
I am about to possibly take down my first brother or first sibling.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I could.
Wow.
Is that
Yeah.
a far cry from the end?
Well, there's three siblings.
Yeah, there's 3 areas plus the main guy. And I just keep trucking on through. I'm not
Yeah.
doing a lot of side quest stuff, even though I hear they're really, really great and they're
They're
fun.
really,
I see
really
what
great.
you did there.
They're really, really
There's
great.
trucks in Montana.
There are trucks in Montana.
Oh,
You're
yeah, and you
trucking.
get to drive them.
Yeah, badly.
Wow,
the first-person car driving is terrible.
Yeah.
It's
And
Oh,
you
I
don't-
love it. I love that in Far Cry. I'm like, man.
I don't feel
I'm
like you've
there.
got
I'm
enough
like,
field of view
No,
like through
I
the
agree.
windshield because I'm like I'm
No
trying to
way.
look and see and you
I
you
just-
can't.
You're
I
driving
literally
those
just-
rickety vehicles.
I'm
you're
driving down the road, like half of my car's off the road. I'm just hitting trees. It's
You're just a
driving that
bad
game's
driver.
bad.
But it's fun. I flew a water plane.
It's fun.
I flew that and I landed a water plane.
I own a helicopter.
on water or land.
Yes.
Okay.
Both. It works both ways.
Does it?
Yeah.
I can land a seaplane on land?
I mean, in real life
Then it
too.
becomes
they
a
have wheels.
plane.
Yeah. Then it becomes a plane. So, I think the thing I will say about Far Cry is I think the story is kind of garbage. I think the voice acting's kind of
Kinda
garbage. I think the writing is kind of garbage. And I don't care at all. All I want to do
it's fun.
every second I'm awake is play more Far Cry.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
but
good.
has Far Cry ever been a place to go because you want a
I
story?
don't know because I've never played Far Cry before.
I think I don't know if we talked about this before, but I had the conversation with you at some point. I think, but it's like I don't think you ever play that's not why you play a Far Cry game. It's like it's the environment and just the world and the crazy encounters, the stuff you get into. It's like the story's never what's really bringing you in. The theme it's all about theme.
I will say the one thing I'm very disappointed with story-wise, like all those other things, whatever, like it's fine, is I'm really disappointed that the game isn't actually about a religious cult. It's about a crazy religious guy that has created a cult using
drugs,
like chemical weapon drugs.
Yeah. And that's not spoilery.
No, you find out 10 minutes into the game. I was very disappointed with
it's kind
that.
of a scapegoat.
Yeah, it's a real scapegoaty kind of thing. And I'm a little disappointed about the extreme lack of player models that literally I've shot the same guy 350 times.
Well, see, I haven't even paid that much attention to who I'm shooting. I'm just like, oh, that's a crazy guy.
Like
I'm gonna
the
shoot him.
long-haired, like bushy-bearded.
Have you been to Montana?
Well, that's fine, but they're literally all the same guy. There's every time you.
Basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, there's only that many people in Montana,
Every time
right?
you take down I've taken down a couple of the, kind of the mini base things of the cults take over these bases. You have to liberate them.
Right.
You'll go in and there's a guy who'll give you a side mission in those. And I went to 2. I'm like, oh, it's weird. Your identical twin just gave me a mission down the road. Like that. But the game's so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
The shooting is like originally I was like, I don't know, this machine gun feels kind of crappy. Like you put a scope on that machine gun and everything gets real good again.
Yeah, so, and you're playing it on the Xbox.
Yes.
I'm playing it on the PC, and I don't know is it possible for there to be bugs on a PC version and not...
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Okay, because I feel like that I played a lot of nighttime. It was nighttime for
Really?
a really, 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 really long time.
And my brother the other day was saying like, oh yeah, the something it's easier to take bases down at night. And I'm like, there's a night cycle? Like I mean, it's probably been nighttime, but it hasn't been nighttime long enough for me to even notice it.
Weird, because yeah, it was. It felt like there was a real long time for it.
like on some
stay
arbitrary.
nighttime.
I mean, I think that's the downside with a game that big with that much. Just hey, we created a bunch of physics essentially, and let's see how they crash together.
Right.
Is that you're going to get weird?
Oh, have
bugs.
you liberated Falls End?
What is that like?
That's the town with the church.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's what I'm working on. I've
Okay.
not actually I haven't beat that lieutenant yet, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So, but when you go into what is her name, Mary in the pub?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been able to go in there and she's doing that. Have you gone to the cook yet? Because the cook is where you, and this isn't. I don't think it's a spoiler.
I don't
They
know
talked
if
about
anything's
it.
a spoiler. Like
The Testicle Festival.
oh, I have not done that
Okay,
yet. No.
so you're talking to the cook, and I noticed like the cook was chopping vegetables as he's telling you about this Rocky Mountain oyster thing. And as he's chopping vegetables, I looked, and he was chopping vegetables in midair, like nowhere near the chopping board. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm just looking at it weird. So I actually walked into the kitchen, and he's just literally floating there, chopping onions and carrots in midair.
I did that. There's a couple. You'll take an outpost, and sometimes there'll be a gun shop kind of out front, and it's really just like a bunch of guns laying on a table.
Yeah.
And I went there, and I'm like, oh, there's no table, so there's literally just a bunch of weapons and ammo just floating. I'm like, this is strange.
And the only other thing that I think is kind of meh for me in the game is, in other games where if you're like, I just shot a good guy, and then like whoever was there or that particular area, you don't change that back. Like they are wary of you. They keep an eye on you. So I accidentally shot a guy in that church in Falls End, and the preacher lost his mind, went ape on me, and started firing his gun at me.
Really?
And I'm all, And I went running out of the church, turned right back around, came back, and he's sitting right down, and is like, hey, man, let's talk about how we're going to do this.
He forgave you.
He turned to the other cheek.
He's a man of the cloth. Okay, I understand.
That one's completely logical.
It does
if
make
you would
sense.
have named any other occupation, I'd be on board with you. But
Pastor, I'm sorry that I just blew your parishioner's face off over here and you wanted to kill me, but I see that you're a man of God and you just forgave me like
I'm
that.
a little disappointed that there's not a better differentiation between good guys and bad guys, because once you, like, I've taken down almost
such
that
is life.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They have bigger beards if they're bad.
Hey.
I've taken down, like, almost that entire section of the map. Like, I've done almost all the quests in it, and so
Oh, wow.
yeah, I've done a lot. I've played
How much time have you got in this thing?
20 something hours. I've been playing this game a lot.
I'm maybe 5.
Oh yeah, like me and my brother, like normally we play co-op games together on Saturday and Sunday, and he was playing Far Cry 5 too. We just voice chatted while we played our single player game for like 8 hours over the weekend.
You guys haven't done co-op
We haven't
on
played
that?
co-op at all. Well, the problem with co-op is when someone else drops into your game, they don't get any game progress. And so, it's a real bummer, because I would have played this entire game co-op otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. As soon as they come into,
silly.
as soon as they come into your game, they don't make any progress towards their stuff, which sucks. So we're gonna try it probably in the next couple of days just to see how the process works. Maybe I'm gonna take down the Hope Falls city church thingy. I don't know what it is. The big building that they're all in. And so I thought maybe I'd have him come in. I also have a mission to kill like a blissed out ghost deer or a moose.
Ghost. Oh, I saw gameplay of that.
It's hard, and so I thought maybe I'd have him come help me out with that too.
I had to kill a blissed out bear.
Yeah, did the blissed out bear one, which wasn't hard at all.
No.
So,
but and that's another thing. I have yet to meet a cougar in real life that doesn't take one single shot to the face that doesn't go down.
The animals in this game are incredibly overpowered.
I know plenty of cougars.
Yeah, there's actually a perk that makes animals less bulletproof, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah,
Good to know.
But I mean, just some of the just random things that have happened in the game have been just absolutely so fun, and some of them don't even involve me. Like every once in a while, I'll just be standing there, and things just happen.
Yeah.
The militia comes in, and and that's what I was gonna say. I have like this huge resistance force there, because every time you take over a building, resistant fighters come in, and so they're everywhere. And so I'll just be rolling around, and all of a sudden, like some bad guys will come in, and some resistance guys will come in. They'll start fighting. All of a sudden, a helicopter crashes, and
you're
things
just kind
explode.
of out here going, "I'm hunting turkey."
A bear run through. The bear's on fire. He lights a field on fire. Cows are running everywhere. It's insane. It's hella fun though. Like
there was an article, I think it was on Kotaku, about the music in the game.
It's good.
So I didn't realize this, but there's 3 or 4 stations you can listen to, and they're all versions of the same songs.
Really?
So you've got the folksy, religious-y, culty song that sounds like a bunch of, banjo picking hillbillies, and then you've got what would basically sound almost like Christian rock.
Yeah.
It's the same song. And then you've got like this choir-y kind of gospel-y sound, and they're all the same songs.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. And the music's actually really, really good.
Yeah. And there's some commercial radio in there too, because I've heard Heart, and I've heard a couple other like actual bands too. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
But I thought that was kind of fun.
Huh. Yeah,
The game's fun. I paid the extra for the gold edition, so I get Far Cry 3.
I did not. Yeah.
I figured why not. I've never played one.
I was very hesitant to pre-purchase this game, because I'm not a game pre-purchaser really. I got a good deal on it. I pre-purchased it from Amazon, so I saved like 15%, and then I had some other kind of coupon-y thing. So I only paid like $25 or $30 for it. And I was still kind of like, ugh, do I want to pull the trigger? And
why not?
God, it's great. I like go buy it. You'll be very happy.
Super fun. Dylan, what are you playing?
I played something much smaller. I bought Torchlight and
I love that
Torchlight
game.
2 because they were on sale on Steam for $3.74 and $4.99 respectively.
I could have added you to my Steam library, and you could have played them without purchasing.
It was $3.
I'm just saying.
Should probably do that.
And it was super fun.
Torchlight's great.
And I never really played Diablo, but my understanding is these games are fairly similar. In the fact that you go into a dungeon and you whack monsters and you take stuff and then you sell stuff. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun, and I think everyone loves looting things and
I
getting better equipment.
I love the game loop of those games.
And it's the only thing on the difficulty, because I just started at normal difficulty because that's generally how I start a game that I'm unfamiliar with. And it was very easy for a long time, but now I'm finally to a point where I think my level is matching the dungeons better, and I'm actually losing health occasionally. So that's kind of nice, because before I just had hundreds of potions that I kept selling because I would never use them. I was like, this is weird. This is way too easy for normal mode, but now it's starting to make sense. And now I'm at the point where it's like I'm waiting to get to the next level so I can get a little bit better equipment. So it's really fun. But Torchlight, if you haven't played, is a beat 'em up action RPG.
ARPG, dungeon crawler.
There's 3 basic classes, which I don't know how different they really are, because you can still do anything with whatever class you're playing. It's just going to open up different skill trees and let you have different abilities.
It's pretty different, actually.
But you're still going to be able to use the guns and rifles and bows and magic and axes, no matter what class you are, it seems like. But you do get to pick a little pet. It's a little cat or dog. I am playing Torchlight 1, so I'm not playing the
Torchlight
second
2,
one yet.
you get a ferret.
I just wanted to kind of see where the game started before I play the second one. I assume the second one's just prettier, a little prettier, polished, and better, and apparently has 6-player co-op, which we're very excited.
Really intrigued me.
6-player co-op.
Yeah, so you can get 6 people down in the dungeon, and all independent loot drops. So each player will have their own drop. So it's not like you're stealing treasure from everybody, even though that's kind of fun.
We need to get on that.
It's kind of crappy in real life because. And then it makes the trading items like, oh, I found this. It's like it just slows the game down. So I think that's smart. I chose a cat. His name is Yams, with a Z. And he can go pick up stuff. And what Cliff told me about Torchlight before I had played, but you learn really quick, is that you can send your pet back to town to sell your loot for you, which is cool because it kind of lets you just stay in the dungeon longer rather than having to. It's always really easy to go back. There's always a new portal that you're finding halfway through the dungeon, or you have the town portal scrolls. So it's never like, oh man, when am I going to have to go back to town? It's always pretty easy, but it is cool that you don't have to. Like, you can send the pet back and you don't have them for a minute and a half to attack. But
it's nice just because they hold stuff for you too. You can hold a lot more loot.
A lot. So it's just it's kind of a way that just kind of keeps the game moving pretty quickly, and it doesn't take long to go back to town, and the loading screens are really fast because obviously this game's not super intense performance-wise. Like, it's not doing anything crazy, but it's just a good time to play.
It's super fun. And one thing I forgot about, and someone actually reminded me, is that if you are a Humble Bundle monthly subscriber, you get access to 40, maybe 30 or 40, just kind of free games. And I forget what it's called.
The Trove.
The Trove,
it's in there, isn't it?
And Torchlight 1 and Torchlight 2 are in there. So if you don't think you have it, but you're a Humble Bundle monthly supporter, and if not, bytemepodcast.com/humblebundle. /humble, sorry. Subscribe and you'll get access to both those games.
I forgot all about that because there's some great games in there. Thank you for reminding
Keyboard
me.
Sports is in there, which is awesome. I played that at PAX. And that Getting Over It. Have you seen that? With the dude with the pickaxe and the barrel, and it's like QWOP, but for
it's weird. But it looks kind of fun. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
But the other game I played, which I'm very excited about.
I love the name.
I never even saw this. I don't know how I missed this game, but I was kind of I was interested to find something new to play on the Switch because I just haven't been shown it as much love as I'd like. And I saw this art style of this game, and I was like, man, I need to play this. And it's called Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. It's pretty obvious what this game is about. There's a lot of guns, there's a lot of gore, and the main character's name is Vinny Cannoli.
Oh, I thought we were going to get a cannoli.
And you eat cannoli to heal.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, what?
I had cannoli for the first time in my life about a month ago.
This trailer is crazy.
And it's essentially a Metal Slug-like game. Not as crazy as Metal Slug. You're not shooting in all directions. You're shooting front and back. And you're just shooting zombies, undead in this Prohibition era, post-World War I. You're fighting zombies, you're fighting the military, you're fighting the gangsters, and you're fighting sewer rats. And in various
forms of zombie decay.
Yeah, so they'll be coming at you, but you might have all three of those enemies, or all 3 or 4 of those enemies at the same time, and they will kind of fight each other as well. But you're like this lone guy trying to like get through it, get through the trenches here. The guns are really fun. They all kind of, they do things differently from the lame pistol that you start with. That's unlimited ammo. It's just like a 9mm handgun or 45 or whatever.
Sure.
And you'll find yourself not using that very much after that. But then you'll get like a double barrel shotgun, which does a lot of damage and knocks them back pretty good. But you only got 2 shots before you reload. And then you got the Tommy gun for the machine gunnery. And then you got the pump shotgun. And then
did you say machine gunnery?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you did.
Then you get a rocket launcher and a flamethrower. The flamethrower is great for getting stuff in the trenches, and grenades and Molotovs and all kinds of fun stuff. But it is interesting because you don't fire angularly. It's straight ahead or straight back. So but there's still like angled terrain and stuff. So you got to figure out how to like throw grenades and stuff to fight people on different angles, and you'll be jumping up and down and shooting stuff. And the revolver's pretty cool because you can blow off people's heads, and then it'll actually hit 2 people at once and kind of penetrate that way. So there's different tools for the different jobs. But I put a lot of time into this game just yesterday. After I bought it, I probably played it for 3 or 4 hours.
That's awesome.
It probably got pretty close to the end of it. I don't know how long it really is.
How much is it?
$10.
Nice.
Totally
$10 on the Switch. It's on Steam. It's on everything, I believe.
And a sequel's coming out.
The sequel is out on Steam, but it is apparently coming to Switch.
Very nice.
Yeah, the sequel looks interesting. It's got. Were you going to talk about the sequel?
Yeah, it's like it sounds like it's just a better version of this game, and they add the one thing that I think the game really needs is a weapon wheel to be able to select weapons. Quicker than cycling front and back. So you basically have a list of guns and you have to go forward and backward between them.
Yeah.
And in a fast-paced game where all these different enemies are coming at you at different speeds, it's like I really want to be able to grab the shotgun or grab the flamethrower and not cycle through guns and then pass it and miss it and then have to go back and
try and like be able to assign 4 different guns that you might want to use for the next however long to your D-pad.
To the D-pad or something. So it's like that's the one thing I ask of this game, and that's what they added, and I'm very happy about that.
That's cool.
But it's a fun, quirky story of like zombies on St. Patrick's Day in the 1920s.
I love it.
And Vinny Cannoli throws out a lot of silly movie references. He'll just like quote movies that are I don't even know why it's relevant half the time. And he said Napoleon blown apart, and that just made me laugh out loud, like IRL. It got me. Like I thought it was so funny. I'd never heard Napoleon blown apart before.
Really, I think I'm pretty sure that was a Garbage Pail Kid.
I'm sure it was.
Oh my gosh,
but that was
I think you're
before
right.
me.
Oh yeah, true.
I'd seen them.
I had so many Garbage Pail Kids when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. And there was Atom Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that guy.
That was
my dad took all my Garbage Pail Kids and just you're leaving these on the floor, and took them and then just stored them in our basement. He's like, these could be worth something someday. I'm like, well, those are mine. I paid for them.
Nice. Anything else, Dylan? No. All right. Make sure if you're on the iTunes, you rate us and review us and all that stuff, and we'll read your stuff and send you free stuff.
And stuff.
Yeah. Oh, we got a banner. We're going to be at the Northwoods Kids Fair. If you're in the Pacific Northwest and you want to ditch your kids at the Byte Me podcast booth to play some Nintendo Switch stuff, don't do it.
Don't do that.
I'm just kidding. You can bring them out. But there's going to be a whole lot of stuff. It's happening at the Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett. On April 14th. It's a Saturday, so
11 to 6,
something like that. Yeah. If you're in the Seattle area and you want to come by, bring your kids, say hi. We've got a giant banner we'd love to show off.
There's
nothing else.
There's jump houses and ice skating, I believe.
There's jump houses.
Yeah,
there's ice skating.
Well, fun.
We'll all be there.
And
we're gonna have we got a bunch of stickers, and we'll be. You can play some Minecraft with us, or we can watch you play Minecraft.
Yeah,
I think it'll be fun
stuff and things. And also, like we mentioned earlier, we are an official Humble Humble Bundle partner. If you would like to support Humble Bundle and your favorite video game podcast, go to bitemepodcast.com/humble. And yeah, you get to support some great charities, get some really, really inexpensive, great stuff, whether it be games or comics or books or mobile stuff. You've got all kinds of opportunities to support charity and us and get some great stuff too. bitemepodcast.com/humble.
There we go. That is it.
Up next,
news.
Here it is. Okay, let's get up into it. Let's start things off with PUBG and keyboard and mouse support for your console.
Yeah, so...
Didn't know that was really a thing.
It's totally a thing. So I believe all consoles these days you can just plug a mouse and keyboard into in the USB. I know the PlayStation 4 you can, but I think the Xbox you can as well.
Now. I think that was more recent, but...
Yeah, and PUBG developers are going to pull that. It's just, I mean, frankly, in a world where... playing in a world when you're playing against other people that are mainly on controllers, playing with keyboard and mouse is just just unfair.
Not fair. Especially because we know how console PUBG, the meta completely changed to driving around in vehicles because of that reason. Is
right.
The game is so much harder with a controller. It's really just unfair.
Yeah, it looks like it's just kind of a work in progress right now. So it's not, there's no clear date when it's going to come, but my guess would be sooner rather than later.
Right.
So
yeah, because playing on a controller, PUBG on a controller, I mean, it's totally doable.
Yeah.
It's just really, really, really hard.
It's totally fine if everyone's on the controller. Like, it doesn't play weird necessarily. It's just if you've played on the PC, you will feel a difference for sure.
Interesting. So, and since we're talking about PUBG, I fell off of that real hard.
I think based on what I've seen around the internet, so did everybody else.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I think Fortnite is just a machine.
And it's killing it.
And it's free. And it's everywhere,
and it runs flawlessly.
And it not only does it run flawlessly, but it runs like to play PUBG well. You've got to have at least a sort of beefy machine.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be top end of the top end, but you've got to have a pretty beefy machine. To run Fortnite, you can run it on like a lot of laptops with integrated graphics cards.
I can run it on my iPhone.
And you can run it on your iPhone. Yeah, and it runs well.
Not PUBG where it's like, I think it's going to work today.
Yep.
I hope. And I think... obviously Fortnite's team is huge, but PUBG just did not keep up with like updating the game. It's like they are, but their updates aren't as big and changing. It's much slower. It's a slow burner. It's like I'm sure the game will continue to be better, and people are going to play it. But
do you think that comes from the fact that it was like they were like, hey, we've got this idea, let's see what happens.
Right.
And it started to happen, and they were like, oh crap,
fast,
we just don't know what.
I mean,
we weren't expecting this, so we don't have a plan going forward for this.
I mean, when you think about it too, like PUBG only came out of early access 3 months ago, and it probably honestly wasn't. I would have been very interested to see if Fortnite Battle Royale had never come out, if they would have come out of early access as early as they did. I mean, I know they'd kind of said like, oh, this year, but I wonder if that would have pushed back a little, because the game's probably not as polished as I mean, but we've said this a million times. Like, I don't know if games released polished anymore.
Right.
So, the difference is when you're, Destiny, when you're Sea of Thieves, when you're any of these games, and you have a huge AAA publisher behind you, and you're kind of the only of that kind of game in town, you can come out unpolished and probably pull it back. But when you've got a great competitor that is super polished and runs great, and isn't exactly the same game, it might just be a little bit harder.
Yeah. And apparently they're testing their smaller map now. I downloaded it, but I haven't had a chance to play it.
Oh, did you get into that beta?
Yeah.
Nice.
And apparently it's smaller and it's very dense. Like, there's a lot of stuff is what I've heard. So
that's cool.
But I think you can only play it solo. So that's why I really didn't care to try it, because I don't really like PUBG
solo
as a solo game.
But I think they actually just opened up squads or something to that map.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I want to say I read that earlier
I think I read
today.
that as well.
So speaking of the Battle Royale stuff, in Fortnite, there is this says meteor, which, cool. I saw comet. I clicked on this article that we're reading from, and they referred to it as meteor up top.
And then it says comet discovery.
And then it says meteor again, and then it says comet again. So in Fortnite...
A meteor and or a comet.
Okay. Have you seen this comet? or meteor in Fortnite when you're playing?
No.
Okay, so evidently there is a meteor in Fortnite, and there's a lot of rumors going around about what it could be, what it could mean, what's going to happen, whether it's leading to an event or leading to the destruction of the tilting towers or something.
Yeah.
I hope so. That place is garbage.
And that's what they're saying is they think that there's been some controller vibrations that if you like read them as Morse code, it like gives the location of
People have way too much time
that
on
on the
their
map,
Wow.
and so they're hypothesizing that it's going to the meteor's going to come down and it's going to destroy, what was it again?
Tilted Towers?
Tilted
Something
Towers,
like that.
and then it's going to be replaced by Castle something.
Are people reading Morse code out of their controller vibrations?
yes.
I can't believe this.
What are they, a bunch of nerds?
Well,
I'm
I
kidding.
mean,
If it's
you know,
video
we can
games,
spell
yeah,
our
it's
own.
fine.
But that it'll be replaced by Captive Castle, which is apparently a
Better.
thing. So
Wow.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
That'd be fun to play Fortnite in a castle.
Yeah.
I regardless of what this is, I love the idea of just this meteor in the sky that now people are I mean it's hackneyed. It's been done in how many movies of like, oh my gosh, look at that meteor in the sky,
Yeah.
and what does it mean and what are we going to do? But I kind of like it even still. Like it's
Well, yeah,
fun.
I mean, it's fun. Like, this thing is counting down. It's like if they just put a big countdown on the screen,
like,
the
oh,
whole time
man.
you're playing. Like, what are they counting down to?
Yeah.
Like, it's still fun. I
Right.
don't.
What if this crashes and then all of a sudden there are
Dinosaurs rise from the ground. That's
Oh
what
my
I was
gosh.
thinking. That's the only thing I've been
See?
thinking about.
I'm 100% down for that.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. So yeah, if you've played Fortnite, which I'm sure we all have, but if you've seen the comet or the meteor or whatever you want to call it, let us know what you think. What it could possibly be.
I could let go of Tilted Towers. I don't think it is good for the game.
And I guess a lot of people are kind of curious and have some like ideas of what it could be because Battle Royale Season 3 introduced a lot of space-themed items like spacesuits
true.
and
It's been very
And-
spacey.
fossils or fossil emotes.
I don't know.
Extinction.
I love it, man. I love it.
Who knows? All right, moving on.
There was a T-Rex skin.
Was it
recently
really?
too? Yeah.
Was it? Did you literally run around in like the T-Rex costume that
Yes.
people?
Oh. See, this is why Fortnite. Like,
Yeah,
I
they're just-
love the.
like PUBG has
I got an Easter Bunny costume now.
We're going to talk about this later, so I don't want to go into it too much now,
Right.
but I love just how Fortnite doesn't take itself so seriously, and there's something to be said for that.
Right, but
Right.
you've also, well, it's very clear that you've got a lot of people that it doesn't take it seriously, but you've got a lot of people who really take their pop culture seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And like they know they know.
It's good.
Hashtag millennials. Thank you.
I like those kids.
Yeah.
Barf.
Up next, Assassin's Creed Origins, their April PC update. Oh, is this just PC? It's offering some kind of weird customization options.
I abso-freaking-lutely love this.
What is this?
It's literally
what?
they're just letting you play with everything. Like there's going to be a it's a huge control panel that'll let you say like, hey, you want to change how far away you have to be from a bad guy before they detect you? Cool, there's a slider. You want to change how many companions that can come with you? Cool, there's a slider. You want to change how much health you have? Cool, there's a slider. So you'll be able to go in and customize, to me, the exact difficulty of game you want. You'll be able
very
to
interesting.
just go in and dial in I want every game released ever
okay.
to have this.
So is this like the debug panel in Witcher 3?
Kind of, except
like-
it's got sliders and it's actually officially being released.
Huh.
I adore this idea.
Want to explore the watery depths? Just turn the diving speed and underwater breathing time up and explore to your heart's content.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's fun.
I'm sure it will be to some degree game breaking. Like you're going to be able to do things in this game that you should. I mean, first of all, I can't wait to see the videos that people make this when they've just done crazy, stupid things. I mean, I don't know, but like, can you play with gravity? That'd be awesome. Can you play with, I mean, I think big head mode.
It'd be a lot
Big
easier to
Head Moto
float
is
to the
the
top of a
best.
pharaoh,
Yeah.
or what are a pyramid?
A pyramid, yeah, Pharaoh. Those are the people inside the pyramids.
Yeah,
They're
it'd
dead.
be a lot easier to float to the top of a pyramid instead of climbing up those things. 'cause
I
they're
really
huge.
liked Assassin's Creed. I really
Love
did.
it.
But I wasn't very good at it. I found like,
Oh, really?
well, I don't know if it's just because I'm a big, dopey, clumsy guy in real life, then that just translates to me being a big, dopey, clumsy guy in video
You play more
games.
gang beasts.
I guess. Yeah, like literally. And so I'm just not good at stealth. I'm really, really bad at stealth. And so, I played through.
It's really hard to suck at being stealth in that game, though.
I swear to God, I played up until that point, like kind of the first big mission is you have to kind of infiltrate that garden-y.
Yeah.
I quit playing because I'm like, I can't get into this stupid thing without sticking the guards on me.
You've not played past that?
No.
Clifford.
I know. Well, I got the game and then I got this weird deal where I got a microphone.
Weirdest deal.
And Origins, and I don't know, one of them was free or something. I don't know. I bought a $120 microphone and a $60 video game, and I paid $100, and who knows what happens.
Right.
You can get that same deal in Far Cry right now, right?
I think so.
Yeah, but anyway, so I don't know how it happened. So I stopped playing on the Xbox because I knew I was going to send my Xbox copy to my brother, and I just have never started playing again on my PC. But I'm going to wait until this comes out because I want to be able to dial it down to a point where I feel like I'm doing well, as opposed to a point where I'm like, oh God, they saw me again.
Right.
But I just love this idea, and this would work so well on consoles because most consoles don't have cheat modes anymore. And I, as a person that only has a limited time to spend every day playing games, I like to progress every day.
And play, yeah.
And I don't want to have to replay things. I don't want to have to go, oh God, I died again. And so something like this where I can not have to go full God mode, but maybe I can go like, oh, hey, I mean, not that there's ammo in this game, but hey, like, give me a little bit more ammo. Hey, give me a little bit more health. Hey, make it so guards don't hear me as easy.
Yeah.
And I can just play this game with a progression that I feel good about every day. I'm super excited about this.
So the update is coming sometime this month. I don't know if it's out already, but it's the April update. Right now, it's just PC. I don't know if they're going to move this over
Probably
to a
not.
console. It could
Maybe.
be fun if they did. And also that deal we're talking about, it was called the Streamer Bundle.
Yeah.
They did do it with Far Cry 5. It was last week through Best Buy.
Bummer.
And yeah, it's done. So it's back up to $140, which is still...
Wait, that's still a great deal.
Yeah, if you pay $140, if you're interested in like streaming and you want to get into it with Far Cry 5, you can get a Blue Yeti microphone from Best Buy. You're welcome for the commercial, by the way.
Yeah.
It's $140. The microphone alone is typically $120.
Yeah.
So you're basically
And
paying.
they're good mics.
Yeah, that's a great mic. You're basically paying $20.
All three of us own one. Yeah.
Yeah, $20 for Far Cry 5 if you do that.
That's great.
Excuse me as I die. Up next, Guacamelee 2 is coming soon-ish, and the original is basically free.
Yeah, right?
It's
$1.50.
90% off.
And like, I hope there's nobody at this point in time that hasn't played Guacamelee because it
So
is
fun.
so good. It's a kind of a Metroidvania.
Yep.
It's hard. It's quite
I
hard.
wouldn't say it's hard.
It's pretty damn hard.
It's-
some of those like middle bosses where they like lock you in a room and you can't leave until you beat the boss. Some of those are hard.
You're right.
Especially when your second player is like at the time like a 6-year-old. It made it rough. Trust me. So how much is it? It's
So right now,
$1.50.
a $1.50, you get the original
on
Guacamelee
PC on
Gold
Steam.
Edition.
Go do it. It's so good. It's so fun. But the new one is coming out soonish. That's all they're saying. And I am so hyped for this
They're
game.
not even giving a basic idea.
No.
Okay.
Soonish.
Soon as is good enough.
Go check out the trailer. It looks super fun. It's set, I think, 10 years after the first one came out. I mean, and do you need to know anything else that you play like a lucha libre wrestler with the mask and
That's
All kinds of powers.
you can switch between the regular world and the world of the dead. And so good. So good.
Yeah, it's coming to Steam specifically.
It is also coming
Right
to PS4. It'll probably be on PS4
Right.
first.
Oh, really?
Potentially, yeah. They haven't said yet, but it looks like it did release
Oh,
that
yeah,
way.
it's launching alongside the console versions.
Yeah, so the
Hopefully
on
Switch sometime maybe.
oh, it'd be such a good Switch game.
I'd imagine it's going to come to Switch because isn't the original on Switch now?
No.
No, I don't think so. Maybe it will be. Another game you should play by the same developer that was Severed is a ton of fun. It's on the Switch and it's also on iOS. It's very good.
Good to know. Shadow of War. You've played Shadow of War.
I have.
Have you played Shadow of War?
I am waiting till I can get it on a really good deal, which I know there's been plenty of good deals along the way. I just haven't had time to play it, so I never bought it.
Right. Evidently, they are ditching the loot boxes, the microtransactions.
Yeah, and if you guys will remember, like, I don't know, when did this game come out? 3-4 months ago? 5 months ago?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was originally why it didn't sell very well. Is there were these
Right.
huge rumors that the loot
was
boxes
pay
are
to win.
terrible and pay to win, and it ended up really not being
Not
true.
mattering.
Yeah.
Especially for a single player game. But regardless,
But enough damage was done just by that.
Yeah,
that
it was all
probably didn't-
rumors. It was terrible.
Yeah. And the game is supposed to be just
good.
fantastic.
I
Yeah.
played not a ton of it, maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I liked it a million times better than Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
'Cause that game was just
Shadows of
crazy
Mordor I
lauded.
could never get into. I thought like it just kind of dropped you in and like go. And this did so much better of a job of like explaining what you were doing, how to, again, like I'm terrible at stealth games, and these games are very stealthy.
Yeah.
The stealth seemed to work better on this one. The controls seem better. I know Kevin in our Discord chat has played a lot of this game, and he really liked it. He got kind of burned out on it after a while, but yeah, if you didn't get into it because you'd heard there were loot boxes and you never heard the come around of, hey, they're not that bad, maybe pick it up. It's not, the loot boxes don't go away officially until July 17th though.
Gotcha. And see, is this year 2 basically that it's getting into at some point?
Probably pretty close, yeah. I mean, I think this came out fall of last year, I want to say.
Yeah, it was pre-holiday season. I think.
So it's still year 1. Okay,
it was on the holiday.
And there is
sales.
DLC for it too. So if you even if you bought the original game, there's been DLC.
Yeah.
Like maybe time to come back to it.
It makes you wonder, like, if your game's not huge, like Overwatch or Fortnite, if you have, or something like Destiny maybe, that's just like super big, like it doesn't seem like loot boxes are a good idea because one, they're just gonna get people really riled up, and then it's not gonna sell, and then you're gonna end up taking them away. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I think loot box, I think that the industry is just kind of trying to find but I mean, at the same time, like we've said a million times, if people didn't buy loot boxes, they wouldn't be putting them in. So maybe Shadow of Mordor, or Shadow of War, sorry, maybe it didn't sell as much as it did, but they made some money off some cosmetics and stuff. Right. So.
Yeah, why can't they, instead of calling it a loot box, why can't they call it like, a makeup kit or something? Because it's all cosmetic stuff. Like, it's nothing that's giving
it's not really loot. Like,
that's the thing.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that your average gamer bro would not be super interested in buying a makeup kit.
Okay, then let's...
How about a cosmetic cupboard?
A cosmetic. I like the alliteration.
Why don't you just call it a wardrobe?
A wardrobe.
How about a box?
A closet. Call it a closet. Then all the dude bros would have to see what comes out of their closet. All right.
Probably new outfits.
Probably.
Moving on.
And
among
makeup.
other things. Okay, so Cliff, Dylan, you were right.
I don't know if we were right.
You're kind of right.
I mean, I wrote that myself, so.
I know, but I like talking like I wrote it.
Me too.
Why are you shocked, though?
I'm shocked because we're so very, very seldomly right. No, Dylan and I hypothesized, I'm going to say a month and a half ago, that the next step in fighting
toxicity in gaming
was going to be AI of some sort, and it appears that Blizzard is actually doing this with Overwatchers in the initial parts of actually training AI with machine learning to recognize toxic players, and when they said it's something that I hadn't thought about, that just hearing someone say X curse word
doesn't work
because like X curse word, if I'm saying it at Adam and I don't know him while we're playing a game, is a problem. But me saying, hey, Dylan, you X curse word, while we're on the same team, that might just be, that's how we talk to each other. I mean, Dylan and I were at an elementary school.
He calls me Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear. We were at an elementary school last night because my kid attends one. And we were talking, and I realized that after we've been there for about 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is how I talk to Dylan when we're at work. This isn't how I should talk to Dylan at an elementary school. And machine learning needs to learn how to differentiate between those two.
Yeah. And
So-
are they doing that?
Yeah, they're working on it. So, they're saying that, it probably won't immediately start banning people. But, it's going to start issuing warnings and start, helping the teams kind of figure out who's a problem and who's not, and help them identify things. I think that's really powerful. If we can teach AI to start recognizing, people that are problematic. I mean, the Skynet side of that is,
I was
AI
just in my head, I'm waiting to go, well, Skynet is real.
It starts recognizing problematic people, and it starts taking that into its own hands.
I know at least one person who's okay with that.
I know at least one person that's absolutely terrified of that. Legit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is great. They said that just even without this, though, that Overwatch has made some really big commitments to anti-toxicity and anti-trolling and stuff. And they said that those events are down 17%. So this is just gonna help more. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
Dylan and Adam are nodding. Like, it doesn't make for great radio, but they agree.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's really...
The robots are coming, and they're.
It happens.
It's fine. I mean, we've already got enough people hiding behind a computer policing our language. What's a robot? Why not?
I'd rather robots do it, I guess.
Yeah. Because at least everybody's getting treated the same.
Yeah.
That's okay.
A little bit more objective.
Robots are, in theory, objective.
Yeah.
At least objective is the people that program them.
Right. But the robot's not going to favor you versus Adam, necessarily.
It's true.
Like, if you guys do the same thing, one
if
of you is going to be
read through my browser history, they might favor Cliff way more. All right. So, last but not least in our news, this game came out 2 weeks ago. It's called Sea of Thieves.
We might have talked about it a little bit.
Little bit.
So, important question before we begin: Have you played more, Dylan?
A little bit.
A little bit. That's what I thought. Anyway,
I just haven't had time to play.
He had time to play 5 hours of the cannoli game.
Guns, Gore and Cannoli.
Yeah, so one of the big things that was kind of promised during the kind of lead up, like all the betas had been kind of out and people were like, hey, I don't know if this game has enough content. Like, I think a lot of people were real worried. Like, we had a lot of fun playing, but we've had a lot of fun playing for 5 hours. What do we do in hours 6 and 7? And the answer was, you're going to play hours 6 and 7 over and over and over and over again until you can build up 50 reputation with the 3 different...
you got to the 3 different factions,
basically? 3 different factions. So you've got to trap a lot of chickens and a lot of pigs and a lot of skeletons and a lot of treasure chests, and eventually you'll get 50... reputation with these.
Is it that hard to gain points with each faction?
Yeah.
Really?
And then what you'll unlock is the pirate legend, and that's like a title for you. Legend. And then you get access to a special place that only pirate legends can go, and there'll be new quests for you to play.
So is there like one dude in there right now?
So the first guy to do it, and that's kind of the controversy, is that there's been a guy to do it. It's a streamer.
His name's Robert Paz. He goes by Prodigy X.
Of course he does. Kind of like, I don't want to say scammed his way into it, but essentially he'd some of his streaming friends, people watching his streams, would go get a bunch of treasure and then let him jump onto their ship and get in their group, and then they'd return all the treasure. And then while they were doing that, some other of his pirate friends would do the same thing, and he'd jump over there. And so he didn't actually earn 50 faction points. He had a bunch of friends who earned a bunch of stuff and gave it to him, which is fine. Like, I mean, I think it's a little cheesy, but whatever. Different strokes.
Like, you don't have a problem with it? Or you see the problem?
I see the problem with it.
You see why people would have a problem with it.
Ultimately, I'm never going to play with a guy named Prodigy X. So
no, I usually slap people.
I'm not super worried about it. I think it's kind of I think it's a shame that the first person to get it didn't get it by just working hard and actually doing all those things. But I think it also speaks to how repetitive all those things are, that no one else might want to do that.
Right.
Spoilers, the downside is he got into Pirate Island and he got access to the new quest giver, and essentially those quests are just a mix of the quests you've done up into here.
Oh no.
It's not optimal.
What are your thoughts on this, Dylan? What do you feel about this guy? Do you feel like he should be a legend?
I don't care. But it's the silliest thing. Like, if you're gonna get upset that this guy, like, when does this not happen in video games? Like, people will always figure out ways to.
I guess the thing for me is, okay, so if we're going to, not us, because I don't think any of us really care. Although maybe, I don't know. So if you care that someone coming into Battlefront can purchase a loot box for $20 that gets them to level 20 to level them up, is that intrinsically different than someone getting a bunch of friends to give them all their XP to get them to level 50?
I think it is.
Why? Because you had to have friends?
Well, no, I mean, it's like...
Because he didn't have to do any work either way.
Well, I'm sure he did something.
Well,
I mean,
he was charismatic enough to convince people to give it to him. So
are those really different, though? I mean, is there a big difference between paying $20 and getting your people to do your work for you?
I didn't spend $20 getting somebody else to do my work.
It's true.
So I saved some money.
So is it different?
What if spending $20 gives you access to something that changes the game for you and makes you a better player?
Yeah,
but gives you more powerful weapons.
Because at that point, anybody can do it, and that means
If you have
But I mean, by
Right.
turning in those chests, he got a ton of money, which would I mean, I guess you can't buy better weapons in that game anyway.
Right. It doesn't
There
actually
is no
affect-
progression in that game, so maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, in this case, yes, that it doesn't matter.
So is this just a cosmetic?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
just
all
it's a title
cosmetic.
and a new outfit to wear
Yeah.
that shows you
Maybe
grinded.
this game's just dumb.
I'm not going to go that far. I think it needs a lot more unique content is what it needs. Because right now, I'm like, I can't collect another chest. I can't collect another skull.
I think the thing is
I have not found a chicken or a pig that I can catch.
I like Sea of Thieves. I had a really good time playing it, but things happen that are really interesting and crazy and stuff.
And it's beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous, but I've had so many crazier things happen in the couple hours I've played Far Cry than ever happened in Sea of Thieves, and I don't have to make friends. It's
I watched a cougar. I couldn't kill this damn cougar, and finally it stopped running away, and I'm like, I'm going to throw a remote bomb at this thing. I threw a remote bomb at it, and I blew it up, and I have never seen a cougar go flying straight up in the air like ass over tea kettle, just over and over and over and over again, and then I turned it in with damaged meat and damaged hide for $5. And that was more fun than what I've done in Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
damn it. I hate saying it because it's so pretty.
yeah.
Anyway, I don't think what he did was necessarily wrong. He's a good pirate. You got other
Yeah.
pirate people to do his
Maybe
stuff.
that's it. Maybe
We're
he's an
pirates,
excellent
yo.
captain.
Yeah.
Like-
Arg.
I got sick of I'm a good pirate being an excuse in Sea of Thieves like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, we had a fifth guy jump on our ship and just do stuff and got chests for us, and we didn't give him anything.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
that
it's
guy's
like-
my favorite guy.
We swindled I mean, we're pirates. Like,
On the
it's-
flip
we're
side,
on
they
the
may have
sea.
just had a slave.
It was.
bad.
It was sea slavery.
He's
but
a slaver.
Well, now,
Pirate.
okay. Now, here's the part of the article that we all managed to not talk about. Prodigy 1X now spends his time helping other players participate in the unlockable legendary quests, which require a pirate legend on board to access.
Wait, are you saying he's a pirate with a heart of gold?
Yes.
Yar.
Bless,
So-
bless
booty-
Pirate
a
X
booty
or
of gold?
Prodigy X.
He's got-
I
gold
love this
booty.
line. I love this line from the Polygon article. Even with the additional player bursting into chat to encourage toxic behavior or drop hate speech, the streamer considered himself beyond blessed.
Oh, hashtag
What does
blessed
that even
yo.
mean?
Oh, shut up. You're a freaking pirate.
I don't.
Pirates aren't. Yeah.
They're not blessed. I mean,
I don't know, man. This is.
That's funny.
I have feelings about this, and they're all gross.
It's fun.
It's just not news. Yeah,
What?
shame on you for just not working hard and actually being a legend.
Whatever.
But I don't care at all.
I know, right?
Like, I could care less who is a legend out there. Like, it reminds me of when Mercenaries World in Flames came out, the second Mercenaries, there was a billionaires club.
Oh, geez.
And it was a leaderboard, so once you hit $1 billion, you were going to be on that leaderboard for life. My buddy was one of the first people on that leaderboard because he found the mission that returned you the most money because he was really good at like flying the helicopter to deliver something or whatever it was. And he just grinded that really fast and was like the third person to be a billionaire in that game.
Were you mad at him
See,
for
but
that?
he did the work.
No, but yeah, he did the
Yeah,
work in
okay,
this
okay,
case.
okay.
But
Yeah.
it seemed like, yes, the nature of the game, he exploited one area in particular, but that's fine.
But every
I
game
don't
has an
care.
exploitable. Every game has an
Right.
exploit.
And
that
See,
you
but
can
I'm
everyone's
like,
always
I think
gonna
I'm okay
exploit
with
stuff.
you exploiting a mission that you can do over and over again.
yeah.
Versus just like
exploiting actual
hey,
people.
guys.
Right. Well, yeah, he's just a people
they're
exploiter. But
obviously they're complicit in it, so
Yeah.
whatever. But
they consented.
yeah,
That's what they wanted to do. All right, so there's
Shame on those pirates.
right.
they're pirates though.
Yeah, like what? They're bad pirates. They're not the legend pirates, I guess. So
I don't know.
Shame on you guys for giving them treasure. It's your treasure. You earned it.
Well, I mean, they got it too.
Well, yeah, but they shared. Don't share.
Wait, but what about the fourth pirate? Maybe it was just teams of two. I don't know. This is all crazy.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Because I'd like to move on to our actual legend.
Oh, dang.
Every week, we start our questions off with
Hey, yo, Vinny.
that guy.
Vinny
He's-
Cannoli. What do you got for us this week?
Whatever the next console is that comes out that he has to create a unique username for, it needs to be Vinny Cannoli.
Vinny Cannoli.
Vinny Cannoli. Cannoli.
I hear rumors that PlayStation's going to let you change your username.
Oh my god!
Finally.
I mean,
then
but
I don't have to have my first and last name as my gamer tag.
That's mine's my first name and the year I was born. It's horrible.
Wow, that's like half of a password.
I know, right? It's also my Hotmail address.
Hotmail.
Well, I don't use it.
Yeah, look at him.
Oh, I'm older.
No, but I'm a Hotmail.
Oh. Anyway, Vinny wants to know what game was off your radar that when you started playing it, you were blown away by how great it was. What made you pick the game up, and what made it so awesome to you?
Oof. Far Cry 5.
Ori.
Ori is definitely one for me.
But I can't use that. I can't use that as an
Used it
answer.
too
I
many
can't
times.
use it as an answer.
South Park, The Stick of Truth was a game that I was like, meh.
This could be good.
It could be all right. And I picked it up for nothing, like $8,
That's
$7.
more than nothing, but okay.
Okay, it was really, really close to
Figuratively nothing, Adam.
90% off of its retail starting price. And chewed through that game in like 12 hours roughly, because that's how long it took to beat.
Right.
But over a very small amount of time, because I was like, oh my god, this is like playing a South Park game. And oddly enough, I've had the sequel in my drawer for 2 months now, and I've not even loaded it.
Which I have, which has DLC, and I need to play it.
I'll bring it
I
back.
need to get it, and then I'll give it back to you.
Perfect.
And then I'll get it back from you when the next DLC comes out, and I'll play that, and I'll give it back to you.
Whatever, maybe I'll have finished by then.
Yeah.
I can't play anything else until I'm done with Far Cry 5.
Yeah, I know. You? What about you? Games that have been off your radar, but are now like, what?
Off your radar. Well, if I think about it the way Cliff did, because he's like, this game could be good. It's like, one, I remember like playing the demo for BioShock, right? I played the demos, and you're like, this is cool. Like, the water's great, and then you get the game and you play it, and you're like, man, that's one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
And then the first Far Cry was like that for me too. It's just like, this game looks cool. And then you play and you're like, dang, this is cool.
There's been a lot of indie games like that for me, though, that where I'm just like, I picked it up in some bundle somewhere and someone told me it was good, and I'll play it and go like, oh, I've owned this game for 2 years and I had no idea how great this game is. Gone Home was kind of that way for me, where I'd owned it for a long time and I kept hearing this like, oh, Gone Home's cool. I'm like, walking simulator? That sounds real dumb. And now it's the only game I want to play that's not Far Cry. So who knows?
But I guess to say off my radar, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli was completely off my radar. Like, I had no idea what this was until yesterday. And then I saw it and I bought it, and I'm like, I played 4 hours. I'm like, this game is awesome. Yeah. And it's a $10 game. I'm like, go play this. Like, I don't know if, like, just spend the $10 and play it. It's fun. Super fun.
I'm trying to remember the game. It's called Valiant Hearts, The Great War.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a Ubisoft. I think it's a Ubisoft Montreal.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of that arts.
Or Montpellier? It's Ubisoft Montpellier, whatever.
Montpellier.
That's the one. So it's kind of a cel-shaded side-scroller World War II story-driven like shooter.
It's real sad, right?
It's real sad.
I know what game you're talking about.
Valiant Hearts, where you've got the dog and like you play as 3 different characters, and it's so good. And I'd seen it once or twice, and it gave these great reviews. And I was always interested in it, but I was kind of like, man, I wasn't playing a lot of games at the time, so I just kind of let it go. And then it was on sale for super cheaper. It was one of the games with PS or something. Yeah. And I played it, and I played that start to finish in 2 sittings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my game.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, good question. Thank you, Vinny Cannoli.
Cannoli.
I'm really hungry. Okay. Cliff,
hey,
let's talk about this.
Okay, so this is something that I actually heard about on another podcast. I'm just curious what you guys think about it, okay? So this is from Waypoint, I think.
You okay?
And they kind of proposed that Minecraft is huge, right? And Minecraft has been huge for, let's say, 5 years. And so people have grown up on Minecraft. And so if you think about like my kid or people a little bit younger than my kid's 10 now. He's been playing for probably 4 years. Kids that are like 2 or 3 years older than here that are just hitting junior high, like 7th, 8th grade, right? Grew up playing Minecraft, grew up playing building games, grew up playing games that are not Call of Duty and the Battlefield series, like the games that, we kind of collectively grew up on were these super realistic, Battlefield shooters, right? these kids have grown up playing Minecraft.
Right.
Does that explain why now those same kids are now just getting old enough where their parents are like, oh, sure, you can play a game where you can shoot kids. And they're gravitating towards Fortnite, which is colorful and bright and has a building mechanic, instead of gravitating towards PUBG. Is there a difference in like the age and type of Fortnite players versus PUBG players, and is that division like, hey, I grew up playing Minecraft and now I want to play a game that's like Minecraft but a little bit older?
Right. Yeah, it's like the sophisticated next step to Minecraft.
Right.
I think it's very interesting and a very interesting comparison.
Right.
I think you do hear a lot of the I played PUBG, Fortnite's for kids argument, which I think is absolutely silly, but I think there's a truth to it that kids do play Fortnite, but there's also plenty of 40-year-olds that play Fortnite.
There is.
Yeah.
But yes, I do think that there's something to that, and I think it would have been smart for Epic to have thought that ahead of time. Too.
Right.
They're like, Minecraft's pretty popular, and you build stuff, and we can make a battle royale where you build stuff. That's a great idea.
Right.
Like, that seems like printing dollars.
Right. And it's just this weird perfect storm.
Future.
I was just like, they said that, I'm like, oh golly, that makes so much sense. And you hear now about, especially with the mobile release,
It's
all
just
these
eating up kids.
And I mean, you think about it too, like they're kids, they're in like junior high school. They probably, unless their probably parents do, they don't have a gaming PC. They've got a,
Well, yeah, that's where I was gonna go with the whole. I think it's so popular because it's free.
It's so accessible.
On every platform.
runs on a potato. You can play it on your cell phone.
Yeah,
Whereas PUBG, you need a PC or an Xbox, and even on Xbox, you don't want to necessarily want to play it on Xbox because it's a far
I thought
less
this was such an
version.
interesting idea, and like I said, I can't say whether they're right or wrong, but the like logical jumps between those two, like they said, I was just like, oh,
yeah, I think it'd be foolish to discount it,
Right?
But yeah, it's not 100% true.
Nah.
Like
It's
because
definitely
it's
part of it.
It's all over, but
Yeah.
yes, I very much would say that it is a natural evolution of.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Interesting thoughts.
I would also like to say that if that is true, like I like that future idea. It's
Right.
like I like diverging from the realism. Like I like my games to be kind of fun and whimsical too, and still be action.
I tell you,
that's why
Far
that's why
Cry
I
5 is
play.
so fun because it's totally unrealistic. The physics in that game are nuts.
That's why I like playing games like The God of War or Ori or Guacamelee or all these kind of games. That's 2 Metroidvanias in a row, but still, like that's the point. Like I don't necessarily want to go from living in the real world to playing a game that looks like I'm playing in the real world. I want to get away from that.
Like I'm really, really intrigued now what a like Call of Duty game or a Battlefield game could look like in a Fortnite-esque like engine.
I guarantee you we will see at some point an iteration of whether it's Call of Duty or a Battlefield or whatever.
And I don't think they'll do it, but I mean, that could be Epic's next move. That would
like
be
a
really interesting.
cel-shaded, cartoony, arcadey, floaty, first-person
it's kinda
shooter.
like Overwatch.
War game. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
A war game.
I
like
wanna play
World
that
War
game.
II Wind Waker.
I want to play that game real
World War
bad.
Wind Waker.
World War Wind Waker.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I mean, you have shades of that with like Overwatch and Borderlands. It's
Yeah.
like
Borderlands,
those are kind of like that's kind of what we're thinking. But
Yeah,
like,
but
I think there's something
But I want it
else
set
there.
in World War II.
Right? Yeah. Like why not?
Right? Could be fun. Could be real fun. Real arcadey vehicles.
Like I do like I like the like. Games can be aesthetics like movies too. Like it can just like you can just have something that just looks cool. It doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be grays
it doesn't
and browns
have to be
and
realistic necessarily.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be drob and like.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that. Your brother.
Yeah.
Colby wants to know: there's a gun to your head. One series goes away forever. One stays. Fallout or Skyrim? Get rid of Skyrim. Sorry about it.
This one's hard for me.
I have had more enjoyment and more fun with the Fallout series and all of its iterations.
Well, it's Elder Scrolls or Fallout.
Or Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
Scrolls kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played 2 Elder Scrolls games for about 20 minutes apiece.
See, and like I adore the Fallout universe. Like I like Fallout 4, I like role played that game where I actually had my character doing like fake blog updates about stuff. It was really fun. I only did it for like maybe a week, and it was the nerdiest. Nah, it's not the nerdiest thing I've ever done.
No.
It's probably not even the top 10, but it was relatively nerdy. I was taking like screenshots to put in my blog. It was super fun. Just about like the stories that, that were kind of emerging through, this wasteland as you did it. And I really enjoyed that game, and I played the crap out of it for about 22, 23 hours, and it's a 105-hour game. And I played 130 hours of Skyrim and loved every second of it. So Colby might just have to shoot me. That might just be if I can't have one of these games, I don't want to live in this world.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely played Elder Scrolls more between Oblivion and Skyrim than I did Fallout 3 and 4.
But God, Fallout's such a good world.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Really hard.
I think I'd take the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
I think I see a brighter future for Elder Scrolls.
Isn't there an Elder Scrolls game on the way?
Probably. They haven't really said. No, not yet. Hopefully there'll be an E3 announcement. It's been long enough that,
Skyrim was what, 2012, 2011?
Yeah, thereabouts. And Fallout is now 3 or 4 years,
Fallout
3 years old.
Was a year after the PS4 came out. So
so it's been a couple years. So hopefully soon. Maybe E3 this year.
Nice. All right, thank you, Colby. All right, Miles, a.k.a. Neurogamer, wants to know. He's got a three-parter here.
They're totally unrelated.
They're all non-related.
I love how unrelated they are.
Right. First, do you believe video games cause players to commit violence? Why or why not?
No.
Because
all studies say so.
Violence, I don't know.
No.
Unless we think that, I don't know.
No.
Just no.
They just don't. Crazy people
Movies don't.
are violent.
Right. Like, something else is going on
Yeah.
to watch a movie or play a game or something else.
Yeah. I personally think that anybody who commits any act of violence, whether it's domestic violence or murder or whatever, or crashing a car into a group of people, any kind of act of violence whatsoever, there is something not right with that person.
Mm-hmm.
There is something there. Whether they're just a bad person, which again goes back to there's just something not going on upstairs.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I guess what I'm thinking is, do we consider something causing violence as that's what, like, someone that had something wrong with them says, that looks cool, I'm going to go do that. So yes, it goes back to there was something else wrong.
Yeah.
Like, yes, that caused them to do it, but the cause is actually here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any correlation between video games and violence.
There's not. Because, no, there's just not. There's not.
Nope.
So there's that. Second, he would like to know, virtual reality, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Think about how much fun we had disarming bombs, Dylan.
Seriously.
I guess I'll take it.
You guess you'll take it?
Yes, and maybe.
I mean, what if the Oasis is real and we can all live in there one day?
It was pretty.
It was really pretty. I would like to live there.
Yeah.
No? Okay, fine.
Yeah,
That's cool.
whatever.
And finally, who
He's
do you believe is
objectively
currently
wrong.
the most promising game developer? That's a really hard question.
Yeah, but I don't think. Okay, so let's say let's leave out the indie scene because there's some really cool stuff happening there, but there's probably too many. Like, the indie scene just creates weird, strange, awesome, innovative things all the time, and it's great. Who's the best AAA developer?
AAA developer? Yeah. I'd probably go with somebody like Ninja Theory.
Interesting, really.
Yeah, just because their take on Devil May Cry when they did that, and then Hellblade was just such an immensely different type of experience you've never seen before in a game. And the fact that they were able to do that on such a smaller budget and turn out a game with that type of
the Hellblade
value
is kind of technically AA, so
exactly.
Yeah,
that's why. That's so. But
it came. Adam,
but it came from a major studio or a major developer or a very well-known name.
Sure.
They're not necessarily known for their indie stuff.
I'd never heard of Ninja Theory before that game came out. No.
Really?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I had.
Yeah, that's all right.
So that's who I think. I say Ninja Theory.
Okay. How about you, Dylan?
Ubisoft?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
I think
they've had so many wins
between Far Cry and Assassin's Creed and Rainbow
Siege
Six and
they're Origins and The Division
and like all those games are just good.
Yeah.
Like they are just strong.
And the thing I'll say about
games.
Ubisoft is they've done an amazing job lately of For Honor, taking games that came out to kind of a meh, and just cranking those things into
South
games
Park.
that people are buying years later for the first time.
Yeah.
The other option would be Rockstar. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they
just don't put out
haven't
enough
released a game in
games.
6 years,
Like-
but
So are we talking about the most successful developer, or are we talking about the
No.
most promising?
Yeah,
because
promising.
Ubisoft
Promising
and
and best.
Rockstar are just like, they have created a name for themselves and they are just going.
yeah, and I think they will continue. I mean, the thing is I would say that, like, if you look at EA, like, EA is arguably the biggest developer right now,
Right.
but I wouldn't say they're promising.
Yeah. But I mean, I've never played a Rockstar game that I'm not like, dang,
Done.
that's like a 90 out of 100 or better.
Yeah.
Right.
Like every single game, even like probably Rockstar's table tennis was the best ping pong game you'll ever
best
play.
table tennis game ever.
See, I guess I'm just approaching the question from a different angle.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
me,
it's like-
Ubisoft has had a track record of excellent games in the past 2 years that make me excited about the games that they will release in the future. And I really respect they're saying, like, oh, hey, that's not quite right. Let's continue to pump money into that. Whereas I don't think a lot. I mean, EA dropped Mass Effect and Battlefront, and kind of said, oh, these aren't good.
Oh well.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, unless we're thinking promising as in like up and coming, which I don't think that's really.
That's hard.
It's promising.
Well, that's
isn't
why-
necessarily up and coming.
That's why I chose Ninja Theory,
Sure.
because like with the last two big ones, Devil May Cry, the DMC reboot, and Hellblade, they also did Disney Infinity 3.0 in 2015.
That wasn't good.
They did Heavenly Sword.
I thought Avalanche did that game. They contributed to it possibly, but Avalanche was the developer of that game.
Heavenly Sword on the PS3, which was a launch title. Which
that
was
was
the girl
that
with the long hair.
garbagey sword fighty game, right?
It wasn't garbagey. It just, there wasn't as much to it as I think people were expecting. I played it through to the end, and the only problem I had with it was that last boss was almost indestructible.
It was the one with the move controllers, right?
Oh no!
No, what was that? Red Sword?
I don't even know.
Okay, I've heard of this game, but I haven't played
Yeah,
it.
Heavenly Sword's fun. They also did Enslaved: Odyssey to the West.
I've never heard of this game.
Really?
No.
Check that out. You might really, really like that game. So, but anyway, that's why I say Ninja Theory, because they've got a track record of solid games, but the last two in particular were just so well done, and the fact that they did Hellblade on the budget they did it and turned it out and won awards all
good.
over the place.
Or
That's my
played it yet.
favorite. That's why I say you're wrong.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, I guess when I say promising, I'm like, for the future of games, regardless of if you've already put out a good game or not, it's like anything Ubisoft puts out or Rockstar puts out is going to be good in the future.
Yeah.
So I promise you, Red Dead 2 is going to be great.
Watch it be
I'm
terrible.
so-
Next
it will
GTA is going to be better than the last one.
I hope so.
It's
I love 5, but man, 6 could be better.
I don't know.
All
Could
right.
be wrong. I don't even know. All right. Is that
That is that.
for Miles' questions? All right, cool. All right, Captain Insano, or Andrew from St. Louis, if you prefer.
I do.
I'm curious to know where in St. Louis he lives. I used to live near the Botanical Gardens off of Van Deventer and Shaw,
Very nice.
near Tower Grove Park, up the street from World's Fair Donuts. Why do I remember this?
You know what I want right
you
now?
lived
A donut.
A donut.
Right. I lived there for 6 months in that area. That's
the,
dumb.
The other day, I've lived here for 4 years. I got the road in front of my house wrong.
I know, right? So Captain Insano, or Andrew, would like to know that he says, we know that video games made into movies are usually terrible, but if you could make a movie based on a video game, which would it be?
So I know we literally just talked about this, but I want Grand Theft Auto, specifically 5, to be made into a movie, because I think that could be...
That could be good.
It had a great story, and I loved how those characters interacted, and I loved the kind of triangle of the dude from the hood and, I don't know, Trevor from the sewer or wherever he walked out of, and Michael being kind of this like yuppie rich dude with a bunch of obnoxious family members. I loved the way they interacted as a group. And what's his name, the kind of computer hackery guy, and you know
the Juggalo,
and you know, I mean, there would have to be a very hard R-rated movie.
That could be one of the best ensemble cast movies,
right? Could you imagine
ever.
if they did that with like a big Hollywood cast? That could be. It could be real good. It could be real good. I mean, it also might be absolutely terrible, but it could be real good.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I would say Tomb Raider, but we see how that went.
Have you seen the new one yet?
Not yet.
I'm going to see it probably the
wanna
next
see
week
it.
or two, yeah.
I want to see it because everybody says it was terrible,
Yeah.
but I actually like the first two
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
But
I'm definitely going to see it. I just haven't had I went and saw Black Panther again last weekend instead.
I'd like them
so.
to make an actual Doom movie
Yeah?
that's
Yeah,
good.
you know, the problem with Doom is, well, maybe the problem with Doom, or maybe not the problem with Doom, is
Maybe
Doom
the
has
problem
no
with-
plot.
Yeah.
So you could make any plot you wanted. So
Right.
given to the right director, that could be very interesting. Like maybe like I have such a hard time saying his name out loud.
Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think he could do, like, think about the cool monsters, or
Right.
like
the creatures from
the
Pan's
aliens
Labyrinth.
do.
Ridley
or-
Scott.
Yeah, Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Like that, Doom could
J.J.
be
Abrams.
J.J. Abrams could do a great job. I think, like, given the right people and someone to come up with a creative script, because I think that's what
Right.
Doom needs. Doom needs someone to make a story for it, because Space Marine shoots demons is not great.
Yeah, and it's surprising that so many like adaptations aren't just good. But I think adaptations a lot of the times suffer just because either you get criticized for being too close to the source material or not being close to the source material, which is really frustrating when people criticize things for that, because an adaptation doesn't necessarily need to follow
Yeah.
the source material very closely. It's
Well,
like, because it doesn't fit in the other medium necessarily. So you have to come up with a new, exciting, creative story in that world. And I don't think that happens very often.
No, I read an interview the other day with the dude who made Minecraft.
Minecraft guy.
Not Minecraft, Warcraft. Moon,
Warcraft
David
guy.
Bowie's kid. I don't remember what his name is. And he came out and said, you know, the problem making Warcraft, the reason that Warcraft was not the movie that you wanted to see or the movie that I wanted to make, was you're dealing with a $1 billion IP.
Right.
You know, and so Blizzard has their hands in every part of that game, telling you, or that movie, telling you what you can and can't do. And I think that may
Right.
be the reason that you can't make a good video game movie. That has nothing to do with talented directors. I mean,
Right.
that guy arguably, I mean, I've never seen Moon, but I hear it's really good.
Moon is good.
It's fantastic.
You know,
it's just 2001 though, so
you know,
whatever.
there have been very talented people involved with very good video game IPs that have made kind of middling movies. And I wonder if it's just because there's so much control by the studio saying, yes and no, you can't do that with our character, that makes it
Right.
bad. Whereas I think a lot of times when you adapt a book, you buy the rights
buy
to
the
that book.
And you can do whatever you
And
want.
you can do whatever you want with it.
There's certain cases that's
So,
not
and
the
I mean,
case, but
also too,
that's-
it's like the stories that we care about for those characters have been told.
right, and that's why it's, you need that world, and then you need to make a different story within that world, and
Yeah.
that's what they don't typically do.
Yeah.
And it's like Hitman was one of the games I always wanted a movie because I just loved. Such an
They made two of
iconic
'em.
character, and they were.
They're okay.
Yeah, I mean they were okay, but like I feel like that's such an interesting story, and
Mm-hmm.
the movie's just
I don't have a game that I would like to see made into a movie. I really don't, just because it's like,
I love the GTA universe, though. They
Yeah,
always have
pretty
such great characters
Yeah.
that, I mean, it's
I'd like to see Telltale do like a GTA universe.
It'd be
set of
fun.
stories.
Golly,
Yeah,
that'd be
right?
funny.
that'd be crazy.
There's been rumors for 2 years that they're going to make Firewatch into a movie. Might be interesting.
yeah,
I wonder.
that'd be cool too.
But Campo Santo's pretty heavily involved in it too, so
Oh,
could be good, could be terrible.
all right. Last question of the week comes from Mansocks. Always a great question. From him, what's your favorite flavor and brand of chips? Me, he likes them chili cheese Fritos.
I've never had a chili cheese
They're
Frito.
pretty good.
Eh.
I think I like regular Fritos better though.
Oh,
the
I like.
classic Fritos are good, but more of a Cool Ranch Doritos are classic, as well as the Kettle black pepper chips.
Really?
Really good, and I just eat a whole bag at a time.
Have you ever taken Doritos and dipped them in salsa?
Yes.
It's all sorts of good.
Yeah.
Like flavored Doritos.
Yeah, yeah, like the
Yeah.
cheesy Doritos.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I had that for the
Not for
first
a
time
long
last
time,
year.
but-
It's real good.
Yeah.
I'm currently riding on the Pop Chip Ridges.
Those are good.
Cheddar train. They're real good. Only 100 calories.
The Juanita's tortilla chips are banging too.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of like I like chips a lot, like a lot. But I tend to like when I think like what do I want a chip? I often just like want like a Ruffles with ridges kind of chip.
I love sour cream and onion chips.
Yeah, but I like them just dipped in things. Like I love chips and guacamole or chips and salsa or chips and ranch dip or chips and I mean I'll go to a Mexican restaurant and like I don't know eat 7 bowls of chips. Like they're like what do you want as your entree? I'm like how about I just buy something to go?
Can I have some chips?
I also, when I lived in Utah, there was a company out of San Francisco, oddly, I don't know how these two things tie together, but that made these kind of like dollar bags of chips that were super good.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember what the name of the company was, but they made a brand called Earthquake, San Francisco. And it was literally just all their chip flavors mixed together,
nice.
Which sounds like it would be awful. But like, if you ever had like an everything bagel, like sometimes those flavors mix together in really, really interesting ways. And the Earthquake chips were really, really good. Just kind of a barbecue-y, ranchy mess of food. It was great.
Nice.
Loved it.
All right. Thank you for the question, Man Socks. And that's it with our questions. All right, let's wrap this up. We got a bunch of cheap free games to run through.
So many. Good Lord.
So let's get into it. If you are an Xbox owner and you have that Xbox Games with Gold membership, lots of great games for you. The Witness is available as of right now all through the month of April to the end of the month.
Very excited about that. I already know it on the PC, but it's a game I've always wanted to like sit down with someone and play
all
through
673 puzzles.
Yeah. Because I'm just not smart enough to get through all of them on my own. I got about through the first 40 or 50, I want to say, and then just got to a point where I'm like, I'm too dumb for this. And I think it would be a really good game with someone else to play on a screen, and they could go, oh, have you tried this? So
nice. Also, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, that's going to be available on April 16th through the middle of May. Cars 2.
It was okay. I've played it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. It's up right now till April 15th, so about another week or so on that. And then Dead Space 2, which I need to play. I actually need to play the first. I need to play all of them.
Oh, the first one's great. I've not played the second one. I hear it's real good, though.
And I've got
I've heard the third one is not good.
What is it, the EA Access?
Yep.
So I've got Dead Space 1, 2, and 3.
Perfect.
If you have a PlayStation as well, or instead of, or both, or whatever, PlayStation Plus. So this month you've got some really good games. Mad Max, great game.
Yeah.
Trackmania Turbo.
Real fun, actually. It was free on Xbox. Like both these games actually were free on Xbox like a month or two ago. And Trackmania Turbo is fun.
Okay.
Good racing game.
Toy Home. I skipped one, but I was curious what Toy Home. Do we know?
No idea.
Okay.
No. PS3 game.
A PS3 game as well. In Space We Brawl. It's a cross-buy with the PS4. Any ideas?
Nope.
Okay. 99 Vidas.
That seems like a song that I should sing, but no.
But yeah, well, that's on the 99 Vidas is on the PS Vita. It's a cross-buy with the PS3 and PS4.
It's very complicated.
Syncopation is gone. And finally, on the PlayStation Plus, Q*bert Rebooted.
I haven't played Q*bert since about 1984, and I'm real interested in this.
Q*bert.
I adore Q*bert.
Yes, I love Q*bert.
Yeah.
It's on the PS Vita, but it's cross-buy as well with the PS3 and PS4.
That's probably one I'll have to try.
And Twitch Prime games, which we need to start making sure we get these in here when they come out.
Yeah.
If you're an Amazon Prime membership, this is included?
It is. You get this for free. Just link your Amazon account and your Twitch account.
And I'm kind of ticked off because but barely a month ago, I bought SteamWorld Dig 2.
But, they're
on
cool.
the Switch.
Give them some money.
And it's free. Or it wasn't free.
I think that, honestly, the Switch is the correct platform for SteamWorld Dig, to be honest. But, yeah, for free, man, game is absolutely incredible. Did you beat it yet?
No.
You should go back and beat that game.
I just got to the point where where it highlights the 3 separate things, and that I figure at the end of those 3, you're at the end game.
Yep.
Also, Twitch Prime Games includes Tales from the Borderlands, great series, Tokyo 42, Kingsway, and Dub Wars.
I am only familiar with Tokyo 42, and it was actually on my Steam wish list, so I'm actually very excited to get this for free. I knew more about it when I put it on my Steam wish list, but I've heard quite a few people talk about it in a very, very positive way, so I'm actually really excited about Tokyo 42 and getting to pull it off my Steam wish list without having to pay for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, cool. So there's that.
One other thing I did not put on this list is if you are listening to this podcast on Thursday, you have exactly 1 day to get this month's Humble Bundle monthly, which includes Mafia 3 and...
Which alone is probably worth it.
Yeah,
was Deus
Ex Mankind Divided, I want to say?
Yeah, that is this one.
Plus something else that I was not familiar with.
God Eater.
something like that. Yeah,
I keep reading
but
it as
for
Dog Eater.
Deus Ex: Mankind Divided and Mafia 3 for $12, that is a
I really wanted to play Mafia
heck
too.
of a good deal. Same.
I
Yeah.
love that franchise.
Yeah, so you could go to humblebundle.com/monthly and get it, or you could go to bitemepodcast.com/humble and get it.
You should do that. And that's
God Eater 2 is the other game.
The second, the sequel.
Yeah, so
Dun, dun.
new set of games will be released on the 12th, or I'm sorry, on Friday. So you've only
And
got
these
one day
games
to do this.
And the rest of the Humble Bundle for this month unlocks on the 6th.
Friday. Yep.
On Friday. So,
Go fast.
all right, there is that. Anything else? Are we good? Cool? Done?
I'm good. Let's go home.
Sweet. All right. Find us on social media online at Byte Me Podcast. BYTE Me Podcast.com is our website. /humble is where you can support Humble Bundle, all their nonprofits, and us.
Fine us.
Wow.
Fine all of
Selfish.
us. Fine.
You know what I say to you, sir?
Bite me.
Ah.